March 3rd. Here we are. Wow. Another month in 2026. We are moving at, I don't know about you. It just seems to be clipping off at a rate that, we're going to be celebrating Christmas before we know it. We're going to get an opportunity to see maybe um, Chris Haig don on his latest attire to his Christmas party, second annual Christmas party. Chris will be joining us here shortly. In fact, I can see him in studio right now. In fact, I've already talked to him in studio. You will notice something kind of interesting about Chris. He has an interesting little. He's been kissed by the sun. He's a sun-kissed orange. He went to Florida for a week. He was not with us last week. So it's good to have you here. Once again, go out, like, subscribe on all of our platforms, Rumble, YouTube, X, and Facebook. I have two different pages on Facebook, my personal page, David Paul Blumenshine, and the show page, The DPB Show. Please go out, like, subscribe, and share with everybody. Hey, still, one of the things I want to make you aware of, early voting still is going on right now in the state of Illinois. I don't know where you're tuning in from. Early voting might not be going on. It seems to be popular in many states where there's primaries, and of course, there are primaries in every state because this is the midterm election. Hold on, got to check in from my daughter Cassidy. Honey, thank you. Harper and I are watching. Love you, Dad. Well, love you both. Harper and Grandpa loves you. All right, I love you, Cassidy Ann. All right, well, so much for that. I appreciate you commenting, my daughter. But yeah, nope. We have a lot to be thankful for. And one of those things is we get the opportunity to choose to vote for the people that will govern us. Now, granted, it's not a perfect system. In fact, that's what we're trying to get accomplished in the United States Senate right now is the Save America Act. We want voter ID. Everyone, for the most part, 8 out of 10 people want voter ID. It's time to get it pushed through. And, I understand it's a walking, talking filibuster, whatever they want to call it, but let's just get it pushed through, John. John, you've got one job right now. There's nothing more important than the Save America Act. Get it done. Let JD cast the tying vote, and let's go room zoom zoom. We've got too many things on our plate right now to deal with. Obviously, let's make this one of the things we don't. The people have spoken. Get it done. All right. Obviously, the title of the show today, Pritzker on Epstein's plane. Mrs. Producer did not put a question mark behind that, nor should she put a period, because I really don't think we know too much about this other than the former president of the United States of America, William Jefferson Clinton, under oath yesterday, actually last night, towards the end of the day, testified that there was a certain individual on the plane with Jeffrey Epstein, one of the first flights he remembers chartering with Jeffrey Epstein. And that particular person was the governor of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker. That's what William Jefferson Clinton told us in his testimony. And as Chris Haig points out before the show, either it's true or it's not. And William Jefferson Clinton's a pretty sharp guy. He knows that he was in a position where he could perjure himself. And so we'll see if that indeed, how that weighs out. But we've got a lot to share with you today here on the show. Thank you once again for checking in with us, and also liking and subscribing and commenting. Need your comments. Want to hear your comments. Want to see what you guys are feeling, hearing, seeing out there. Believe me, there is so much out there. I try to really limit the amount of exposure I have to social media because it will drive you crazy. So I encourage you to obviously consume quickly, get in, get out, but don't spend a lot of time, because it's sometimes it will just cause your brain to start to rot, and we don't want that to happen. So, with that said, here he is back with us. There he is. Look at him, sun-kissed. Sun-kissed. How was the weather in Florida, Chris?
Weather was good for most of the time. The first couple of days were only high in the 60s, but we did some other events, did some other touristy things. We took a cooking class, made some chocolate brownies and other good stuff out of chocolate. So that was the first day we got there because it was a little chilly. But after that, it warmed up, and we went to Key West, and that was nice. A lot to see and do there. Saw Hemingway's house. Saw some of those six-toed cats there that he has. So
six-toed cats.
Yeah, well, that's what he's known for. There's the original cat there had 6 toes, and that's kind of what made him interesting. So
interesting.
And then you just let them run around the house and procreate. So there's a lot. There's like 7 cats.
Ernest Hemingway, The Old Man and the Sea.
Exactly.
If you haven't read it, you need to read it, obviously. So, Chris, Florida, good place to be. You could feel I'm sure you could feel not only the ocean air, the sea breeze, salt water, but you could also feel that you were in a free state. Things appeared to be moving along in the state of Florida.
Yeah, you see a lot of Trump signs and Trump paraphernalia. So it's not like Illinois here.
It is his home state. It is his home state. That's where he resides now. Well, Chris, it's good to have you back. Obviously, Pritzker and Epstein's plane, not a question, not a period. We're just kind of inquiring minds want to know, as the old saying goes.
Well, when you add the idea that Clinton would have had to perjure himself to lie about it, and you add that his cousin had to resign from the board of their company because of it, there's a lot of links together there.
Well, you know what? Let's not waste any time. Let's get right to the heart of the matter. Here he is, William Jefferson Clinton, under oath yesterday. Let's hear what he has to say.
I'm here.
Yes, we can hear you.
With Jeffrey Epstein on, you apparently took 26 flights on planes connected to Jeffrey Epstein. Was he on every flight you were on?
Was he on every flight I was on?
Oh, sorry. Sometimes you just hit too many buttons and you get yourself all worked out. Here we go.
Yes, we can hear you.
With Jeffrey Epstein on, you apparently took 26 flights on planes connected to Jeffrey Epstein. Was he on every flight you were on?
Was he on every flight I was on? That's a good question.
If you know.
What?
If you know, their flight manifest.
Yeah,
you know?
There'll be a record of it, but I think he was, or certainly on most.
You think he was? Well, that's okay. Was Ghislaine Maxwell on every flight you were on, as far as you remember?
The same answer. I think she was, but there'll be a record of it.
Okay. When you took these flights, you're saying a lot of them were on behalf of your foundation or your charitable work, correct?
Yes.
Who did you normally bring on these flights? I assume employees of the foundation, whatever.
I brought.
Oh my goodness! Please
people
do that
who
into
work
your
for me,
cuff,
especially people who
your elbow.
would have to follow up on the fundraising, or people who were involved in my AIDS work. I bought people who.
Just like I never go anywhere alone. You never would go alone. Right?
What? No.
We always have an
And I had the Secret Service with me. And then on occasion,
Here it comes.
I had people
Here it comes.
who had volunteered to help us and wanted to see what we were doing.
Right.
For example, I think it was on one of these trips, I think, that I had my first trip for the man who's now the governor of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker, and his wife. They helped me get started.
All right. Well, I wanted to see that again. And Clinton believes that he's the smartest lawyer on earth. He believes the "I think" gets him off the hook if it's not true. And so
I did not sleep with that woman.
exactly.
It's,
and
he was pointing to what's her name from the press gallery, that old biddy. I can't remember her name. She was uglier than a toad on Halloween. He was pointing to her. He said, "I didn't sleep with that lady."
Yeah, exactly.
And he was right.
And
He
it
did
also
not sleep with her.
depends.
Nobody was sleeping with that lady.
And it also depends on what the meaning of is.
Yeah.
So, when you got a guy like that, that gives him a little wiggle room. So I didn't hear it fully the first time. I really looked at it with jaundiced eyes this time to see what he was going to say and whether it was, whether he had some weasel words, and he had some weasel words. But the other interesting thing is that you can, link him more to things because you can probably look it up. It's probably public information whether JB was donating to the Clinton Foundation, and like any good rich liberal, I'm sure he gave to that organization. I mean, talk about a scam organization. That one, Bill Clinton decides he wants the Rolling Stones for his birthday, so he calls his birthday party a fundraiser and accepts donations, and then has the Rolling Stones there. The guy is really good at these kind of ways to weasel into these sorts of issues and give himself all the benefits of the doubt that he can. So that was another thing.
So, hey, good to see you, Sarah. Thank you, Sarah Froberg. Berwin Bob talked about you this morning. Berwin Bob, exact famous statement was, "I did not have sexual relations with that woman." Yes. And I always have to figure out who that lady was. Gosh, you would know her. She literally looks like,
Well, she'd been there something like 50 years or something.
Yeah. What was her name?
I have no idea because
nobody kept up with that lady.
But, yeah.
Anyhow, Bob, we were talking about you this morning. Good job attending the gala down at the Full Armor Christian Academy. Had an opportunity to have a phone call with one of our favorite soon-to-be governors of Illinois, hopefully to replace this buffoon that we're going to play his rebuttal here in a second. But that would be yours truly, Darren Bailey. It was good to talk to him. We talked a little bit about you. Sarah, of course, why would you bring up Jennifer Flowers and Paula Jones? It's comical. We and I don't want to make light of this because it's a travesty, especially if we're talking about kids. I heard the testimony about, they were asking, okay, so Biden set up this hotline call line for kids or for people to call if they could report abuse of children during this whole open border policy and everything. And the hotline received 65,000 calls that went unanswered. 65,000. When they were asked how many people were commissioned to handle these calls, it was one person. Then the follow-up question was, well, how frequently did this person actually work the phone line? And the person said, I really don't know. And obviously the answer is probably not a lot if you miss 65,000 calls. I don't know. I can do the math on that, Chris. You probably can. You're much more mathematically astute than I am. 65,000 calls in a year. I mean, that's a good average per day. Yeah,
that is a lot. And the problem is that instead of having FBI agents on the line answering these calls like that, they're out chasing after grandmas who are praying in front of abortion clinics and worried about Catholics doing Latin Mass.
Yeah.
So,
and
there you go.
Obviously, some of that stuff is part of the whole exposure and what they're looking to uncover. But here you go. As promised, let's just get to it. Let's hear. This only takes 20 seconds, and just be prepared. 18 of it is deny, deflect. and not deal with, no one asked the question, why would Bill say that then? Is there a reason? Is it because Hillary is going to try to run for president again in 2028? But here we go. Let's just play the rebuttal. But let's just take a minute to gaze upon. JB is almost thinner than Juliana Stratton.
He's really been. Is she gonna talk about effing something or other, or is that the?
She's gonna bust the F word out for Trump. JB obviously, and
he's been hitting the gym. You can tell he's really. It's not the what is it?
Ozempic. No, there's no gym.
definitely-
There's no gym involved here. This is definitely medically induced. And you know what? I'll tell you. You talk about a walking billboard for Ozempic. There he is. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll tell you. Obviously, it works. I don't know. What I've been told is, once you're on it, you can never come off of it, or things don't balance out. But maybe he can. Here you go. Here's JB's rebuttal to Bill Clinton, saying, I think JB was on one of the first flights in the fundraising for Epstein Island. Or I'm sorry, for the fundraising of something. I don't know what he was raising funds for.
The Clinton Foundation.
Clinton Foundation, which I guess was tied in with the Epstein Island somehow. I don't know.
I had never met Jeffrey Epstein. I was never on Jeffrey.
It's funny because neither had Hillary Clinton, but there's 7,000 photos of her standing next to him with Bill.
Epstein's plane. I was never on any plane with Jeffrey Epstein or with Ghislaine Maxwell. Never met her. But you know who did? You know who palled around with both?
Okay, here's the question. Answered in the comment section. If you know who JB, what he's going to say, because he can't go 20 seconds without mentioning this.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. Donald Trump.
He's
Donald
not running against Donald Trump, is he? I thought there was somebody else running for governor here.
Donald Trump. Donald Trump. Okay, there's the rebuttal. I don't know him.
Well, the lady behind was going to say effing Donald Trump.
Yeah. I should bust out the video of the F Trump from Juliana Stratton. Hey, I didn't say it. I just played the commercial to, F Trump. Okay. All right. Well, there we have it. So,
well, and that's the other thing is that Clinton also cleared Trump. There's probably some video of what he said about Trump, and it was fairly complimentary about his not having a relationship with Epstein.
hold on. I think I might have that video. Well, what happened here? My page is acting crazy. I probably have that video. I think I did save it.
Yeah, and the sad thing about this is because there's some issues going on in the world that aspect of it will probably be swept under the rug pretty good. With all the war going on, we won't talk about how corrupt the governor of Illinois is. He probably belongs in jail with the rest of them. When you start to unpeel some of these fraud cases for healthcare and SNAP and all the other issues, and not cleaning up the voter rolls and all those things that he does.
Exactly. Well, no, I don't think I do have the video that you were talking about, Chris, which is basically Clinton came out and said, obviously, and now a lot of people are saying, is he running cover for Trump? Is Trump running cover for him? I think at this point, what is Pritzker hiding, telling Clinton not to communicate on government servers? Oh, Kevin Lauer gets in a comment. Okay, Denise, of course, he's got to say him deflecting. Yes. It's all interesting. This thing? It's going to play out. Let's just leave it at that. It's going to play out. Pam, you're right. Hopping on late. Good to see you both. Thank you. Definitely I don't think this is going to probably walk itself out for now. JB, I hope this will stay around during the gubernatorial race here in Illinois, because I think it's going to build momentum, timeliness of it. JB obviously doesn't have a serious contender for the nomination of governor, which he needs to secure. If he does not win the governor's race in Illinois in 2026, he can kiss goodbye the White House. There's absolutely no chance that he's able to, put together a campaign if he is not able to retain his elected position as the governor of Illinois. Am I
Yeah, I
correct?
agree with that. Yeah, 100%. There's no way you can run without having won in Illinois.
Yeah.
I mean, Illinois is so liberal to begin with, to lose that state pretty much almost knocks you out. To win the nomination in general, where are you going to win if you can't win in your own home state for governor? Where are you going to win on that map? So,
all right. Well, we could beat up the JB Pritzker thing. I know that was the lead of the show. Obviously, Pritzker, Epstein Island. I think there's more to come. A lot is out there. I will tell you that I ran this by Darren a little bit. Darren didn't have a lot to say about it. I mean, he's just, dealing with this as it's coming in. And he has a lot on his plate right now. He's got a lot of stops. They're going through another bus tour. I say that like my friend Darren says it. Rather than tour, I say tour because that's how my friend Darren says it. And they're going to wrap things up. Things are really looking good. Nothing has really changed in the Bailey campaign. We see who's out there driving from, Cook County to Lake County to White County to McDowell County to, is McDowell County? Yeah, I think it is. There's 102 of them. And a lot of them begin with an M. So name all the M counties in Illinois. And if you do that over in the comments section, you might win a fancy, I don't know, a mug or something. I don't know.
yeah.
Okay, I can't give you the one that Hannah got me, which is
Oh,
you are a really, really great dad. The best, really terrific, just fantastic. Other dads are losers, total disasters. Everyone agrees you are the best. Believe me. And on the back it says dad, and it's nutritional facts. One amazing dad. That's from my Hannah. So yeah, I couldn't part with my Donald Trump.
when I was in Florida, they had some T-shirts there. It said "Bank of Dad" because money grows on trees.
Bank of Dad, money grows on tree. Yeah, actually, that would have been a good one. All right, so, yeah, I mean, this is where we stand. So this is big breaking news, especially here in Illinois, and obviously, as you just heard, Governor Pritzker said, "No way, no how." I didn't even know either one of them yet, but my cousin, my brother, and everybody else did. But hey, they never introduced me to the guy. I was too busy protesting on college campuses and everything else like that.
Well, the thing about it is that everybody makes Epstein Island as into basically just this little resort area that people went to because it was nice and warm in the winter, and that there was nothing else that ever went on there that they ever noticed. No one else noticed any of it. So it was just this place where you had sun and sand and nothing else happened. And to believe that, then you have to believe that Epstein was really busy with a lot of these ladies because of the number of ladies that are coming out and saying they're abused.
Yeah.
And I'm a little confused as to why those women that were abused aren't willing to name the names. Maybe there's a reason for that. I don't understand it, but it seems like that they would.
Yeah. I agree with you.
Names, but
I think you're right. They would. I mean, and I don't know. I'm not trying to re-traumatize or re-litigate.
Oh, right. I mean, I'm very sympathetic to their plight, but they're already out in public talking about it, so it's not like they're trying to keep it quiet and they're embarrassed about it and whatnot. They're out there. They're standing behind, MTG and other people out there on these stands. So
Well,
why not? Not
At-
quite sure.
at the end of the day, let's see. Let's do this. Let's transition to we can do this real quick. I'm going to bring this up because this is another great, I think, perspective on, well, this is from our former Attorney General candidate. Let's see if I have that up on the screen. Thomas DeVore. Let me actually blow that up. Thomas put this out this morning. Good job, Thomas DeVore. Go like and subscribe, or go like his pages. I don't think he does anything outside of Facebook. I think he kind of keeps everything there. He's got a pretty large following, about 70,000 people. But Tom DeVore says, any elected or appointed Illinois Republican who doesn't publicly demand an explanation from Pritzker on Epstein needs to resign. That was this morning. He put that out. He also put out another one. I thought I shared it, and maybe I didn't. Let's see here. Maybe I got to go to my page to play it. Yeah, there you go. I am on my page now. This is the one I really wanted to share that Tom put out this morning. Any Illinois newspaper that doesn't have, quote, Bill Clinton, J.B. Pritzker flew on Epstein's plane as its front page headline should be deemed a state-run media or something other than a state-run media, because Lord knows that's just bizarro that the coverage isn't coming. But I am hopeful. I'm really hopeful. But this is the one that I want to kind of share right now. And it kind of just plays into J.B. Pritzker's response. I think I need to blow this up a little bit, but this is from that gal. Go out and like her stuff. I don't know how she generates her content, because she generates a lot of it. Janet Elaine Parks, like, subscribe, but she always has a great perspective. I don't know if it's generated from Chat GPT. It appears that she puts out a lot of content. I don't know if it's her content or if it's just her and AI, artificial intelligence. But she says it best. Trump lowers prices. Democrats, what about the Epstein files? Trump brings down housing costs. Democrats, what about the Epstein files? Trump removes dangerous illegal criminals from our country. Democrats, what about the Epstein files? Trump secures the border. What about the Epstein files? Trump strengthens energy and independence. What about the Epstein files? Trump negotiates foreign policy wins. What about the Epstein files? Trump frees Venezuela from the horrible dictator. What about the Epstein files? At some point, you have to ask, is the goal accountability or deflection? You can care about transparency and you can demand investigations, but pretending every policy success is... Hold on for a second. My phone's disrupting my train of thought here. I should just silence it, but Brother John, you should be watching the DPB show rather than
they also act like none of these successes are successes.
Yes.
So that's the flip side to that.
Yes. Well, and it ties in well with another. Let me see if I can bring it up on the DPB show page.
If you think the mainstream media is bad, Illinois media is even worse. There is really no coverage whatsoever about anything political in the state. They just cover it up. Well, that's something that I don't know if you talked about, was Illinois may lose the Bears.
Yeah. I mean,
well, we didn't. Good job. I mean, that's probably more important. We should probably be talking about that as your top headline of the show than Epstein. But
well, I mean, I thought I had Diane Benjamins, but Chris, you bring up a good point. But I think that's purely, the Chicago Bears organization has a decision to make. I think it's a resounding, we as the people of Illinois on our side of the aisle, we don't want to fund the Chicago Bears. through our tax dollars.
Mhm.
And that's pretty clear. I don't think there are very many people that want to. Now, if that's what the General Assembly believes that the people believe, well, then they're going to have to be accountable for that. Um, I agree with you, Chris. What is going to shake itself? The Chicago Bears are going to have a new stadium, and now it's a matter of where is it going to be, and how will it be paid for? Who will fund it? I'm fully willing to give away tax exemption status, but I'm not willing to pay extra money to fund a private enterprise. These public-private joint ventures, I think they're ludicrous because once again, all they become is a taxpayer-funded venture, and I'm just not interested. I'm
Right.
just not-
No, I agree with that. I don't know. I haven't seen any of the details on Indiana. Doesn't seem to be a kind of state that it's fairly conservative, and I don't see them waving a lot of money there, but I also see them being a more business friendly state just by the nature of their legal system and the laws governing taxation there. So I think that's probably one of the things that they're looking at as well.
All right. Well, while I was scrolling, I was looking for Diane Benjamin. Go out, like, she's on Facebook. The BLM News is her page, and it's a similar little takeoff on how everything that Trump has done and accomplished, has kind of been, what? Hold on. Let me see if I can. I mean, I have the technology right in front of me. There it is, BLM News. Let's see if I can pull it up real quick. Because I'm sitting here reporting on it, and it sounds like raindrops are falling on the roof where I'm at.
We had some hail here.
There's let's see here. Is it Diane? Where's it at? Is it, maybe it is under Diane Benjamin, and she just, let me see. Maybe it's on her own personal page if she has it. Oh, there she is. Diane. Let's see. Diane Benjamin, February 25th. No. I don't know where it was at, but I saw it this morning. That's too bad. I can't find it because it was a really good piece. And I don't think it was BLM News. As I'm searching, I'm trying to. Well, Chris Coos, that was 9 hours ago. Chris Coos cares about partisan elections. Orlando, American Airlines. No, 616 CT subsidies. Several community benefits. Yeah, I don't think it was, because now I'm back to the 28th. I'll have to find it.
A lot of these sports deals just never go anywhere because they don't really bring in the people like they think they're going to.
Well, here's the thing, and I got to move the show along. We're at 4:34. Thank you all for joining us, staying in touch with it. Hey guys, if the Bears go to Indiana, automatic victory for Darren and Aaron, but trust me, they're going to break ground in Arlington Heights. I agree, Bob. It's fascinating. Every good commercial venture, like relocating a sports team, comes with its drama, and the Bears are fully aware what the financial shape of the state is. And they also know from a branding perspective, marketing, how do you brand a team that's playing in Indiana, but yet calls themselves the Chicago Bears? I still would like it to see if it was plausible to put them somewhere closer to Chicago, not necessarily Arlington Heights. But yeah, no, I'll take Arlington Heights, especially if they can put together the infrastructure to make coming and going much easier than what it currently is to get in and out of a Bears game. But thank you, Bob, for your perspective, and it does help Darren and Aaron out. But I want to get back to what we have in store for you today on the show. I know that Chris is one that follows this a lot, so I want to bring this to light. Tom Fenton's got a little something to share with us. I don't know if you saw this one or not, Chris. There was a little decision by the Supreme Court right here, Judicial Watch, covered by Laura Logan. If you don't subscribe or go out and follow her on X, Laura Logan, the Supreme Court ruled 7-2 that candidates have standing to challenge unlawful ballot counting. Judicial Watch did a heavy lifting again. Tom Fenton, I don't know how long this video is, but let's see here because I'm going to watch again.
And just last month, we had a lawsuit first in Illinois, but they found, the lower courts did, that our client, Congressman Boss, and 2 electors didn't have standing to challenge the counting illegally of ballots. And the Supreme Court affirmed in the 7-2 decision, thanks to...
Chris, does that sound familiar?
Yeah,
Going all the way back. No, the Congressman Boss, a sitting congressman in the state of Illinois, doesn't have standing
in his own race.
Yeah, hold on.
Your heavy lifting Judicial Watch just in January that essentially candidates have almost an inherent right to be able to challenge unlawful counting of ballots, or as alleged. So that was a major victory and, frankly, vindication for President Trump, who was barred at the court door by ridiculous variations of standing, where all of a sudden a candidate somehow didn't have an interest in making sure an election was run legally, and they didn't have the right to be in court. So that was a tremendous victory. So now this case now is the underlying issue about whether federal law, which sets election day, bars the counting of ballots that arrive too late after election day, obviously mail-in ballots.
Yeah. Basically, the lawsuit states that after election day, you shouldn't be able to count ballots as all ballots that come in. There is rationale behind counting ballots that are postmarked as of election day, but we've already found out that there's some gamemanship with just counting all the ballots rather than just counting ones that are postmarked election day. And there's also some turning back the dial to postmark things after the election day. So we're going to get to the bottom of it. Obviously, it's breaking with the Save America Act, with the voter ID, proof of citizenship. Our elections need to be fair and free and transparent. And unfortunately, they're not. So hopefully we get to the bottom of it.
Well, we'll see if Thune really wants to get the SAVE Act through. He seems, I question whether he has the desire to get it through.
He or Tillis, and I think that there's enough pressure. I think there's enough pressure that it's going to come to fruition. But here's the thing that I kind of want to...
Crazy how some of these areas where they're real Republican areas, they can't get the pressure on these types of candidates to get things through. The Oklahoma is a very conservative state, and the governor there is asking to have more immigrants come in to help build Boeing products. Why isn't he asking for more U.S. citizens to be making? And Langford is the senator from that state, and he's out there asking for amnesty and open borders. So I don't understand what's going on in Oklahoma, why the Republican Party there seems to really enjoy open borders.
Oklahoma, there's something. Once again, follow the money, follow the money, follow the money. Actually, a great book to go out and read. Dan Bongino's Follow the Money. Insane in Ukraine gives you a whole snapshot of the corruption. Bottom line is it's corruption. Here we got a commenter from Kevin, a comment from Kevin, commenter. Kevin is the commenter, Kevin Lauer. And the comment is, it is almost guaranteed the Chicago Democrats will screw up the traffic flow in and out of all local sporting events. They
I
will
don't
also
think they even think about. I don't even think they think about traffic flow ever.
They don't care. They
I
don't
mean,
care.
you got Wrigley Field doesn't even have parking, so
Yeah.
I mean, what more do you need to know? And they also sold their parking, right?
Yeah.
In downtown, they leased it away and got a bad deal on that. And
Yeah, if it's going to fail, let the Chicago Democrats, let the Illinois Democrats have a swipe at it, because they enjoy failure. Because if they don't fail enough, then they can't try to solve the failure that they obviously were party to. Here is a great snapshot of some young people, Persian, mostly Iranians. See how I did that? I didn't say Iranians, Iranians, because I have been taught that. Hold on. Here you go. I love it. I hope that you love it too. Obviously, things are happening out there, contrary to the belief. Chris, this is pretty straightforward. What has taken place in our world right now and the world events, we're going to sit here and scream and debate just like we did prior to Venezuela, just like we did prior to every other engagement that has happened under the Trump administration. We're going to try to define if we're in this long-standing war. I'm going to give you some inside baseball real quick from family members. As you know, my son-in-law was deployed last year over in the Middle East. He has a brother who's also in the United States Navy. He actually has two brothers in the Naval Reserves. And, you know, this is the timeliness of this is, it's funny. People think that Trump just woke up one day and this is what he did. No, this has been ongoing since Midnight Hammer last year. Conditions were put in place. Negotiations have been put in place. There was a drawdown. There was a way for the Ayatollah to save face. There was a way for Iran to move forward. There was exceptions made on providing nuclear fuel to them as long as it wasn't capable of being enriched. So there was a whole plethora of things going on. The part that deals with Jimmy, my son-in-law, and his brother, you know, in the Naval Reserve, we were stationed with nuclear submarines for months off the coast of Bahrain. Did I say that right? Bahrain? Did you say that Bahrain or Bahrain? Off the coast of Iran. And we have the tech, or we have the capability in the advancement that we basically could do a lot more damage to that country than what has been done. This is precision at its best. They put forth a series of negotiations, or conditions, I should say, within the negotiations. And unfortunately, Iran was not going to comply with that. In fact, based on intel, there were going to be some things that really were going to take place throughout that region. And as you've heard it reported, instead of waiting for them to to open up a can of you know what on us, we said, no, it's time that we've talked about this and we've talked about this and we've done it for a very long period of time. We have had decades of American soldiers, American citizens being removed, dead. The old saying, don't get dead. Well, they're dead. And we have had, I think, so many occasions to to settle this. And that's the essence of that article I was looking for that Diane put up. We've had a lot of ability to solve problems like our border crisis, our energy independence crisis, all of these things that Trump came in and he fixed them immediately. Well, the Iranian crisis, which Barack Obama, in his fleeing moments in the White House as he was exiting, he thought his solution was just to drop $6 billion in cash on a tarmac in Iran. But obviously, how did that work out? But Trump is fixing things. He's a fixer. That's what he does. I don't care how long it takes, nor do, but I care about young people losing their lives. I do care about our military that's being, put into action. But unfortunately, that's part of securing peace through strength. In fact, I think it's best said by Marco Rubio when he is being questioned about this. He puts it in a very succinct manner. Let's see if I can pull this up real quick and get it on screen. Okay. Oh, I pushed the play button. Let me get it enlarged here. It takes 45 seconds for Marco Rubio to explain this. Here it goes.
Congress. Our notification, listen, let me explain to you guys this in English. Okay? Iran is run by lunatics, religious fanatic lunatics. They have an ambition to have nuclear weapons. They intend to develop those nuclear weapons behind a program of missiles and drones and terrorism that the world will not be able to touch them for fear of those things. And this is the weakest they've ever been. Now is the time to go after them. The president made the decision to go after them, take away their missiles, take away their navy, take away their drones, take away their ability to make those things so that they can never have a nuclear weapon. That's why the president made this decision. It was the right decision, and the world will be a safer place when these radical clerics no longer have access to these weapons. You see how they're using them now. Imagine how they would use them a year.
That point right there, Chris, look at the damage they're doing right now in response to the attack on their country as a measure. Look out there how they're using them now. What would it look like a year from now based on their capabilities?
All right, I got time for one more.
Anyhow,
I mean, it's a complicated situation, and it's interlinked to our issues with protecting Taiwan from China. It's protecting Ukraine and the Russian situation, because they're all interlinked. They're all providing support to each other. The Iranians were providing drones to the Russians, and they're all kind of interconnected, and the Chinese are trying to build up their supply of oil in case they decide to attack Taiwan. So stopping the oil from the cheap oil from Russia and from Iran is helping. The part that I don't understand why they did it was the Iranians went and attacked all their neighbors. And so people who could have been allies, or at least verbal allies, ended up siding with the United States and Israel, which is pretty hard. The other thing that's a little bit interesting is when you look at the history of Iran and you look at it from a Persian perspective versus an Islamic perspective, there's also some call for them to not really be as Islamic extremists as the mullahs would like them to be, or they're forcing them to be. You saw how modern the people doing the YMCA dance were dressed. Exactly. And that country prior to the mullahs taking over was a very modern country that was a place where people, kind of like Dubai, where people would go and enjoy themselves. Lebanon's another country that used to be a place to go. I think they even mentioned it in some of the old 007 movies where they go there. It was, a nice place to go. And Trump even mentions that when he talks about fixing the Gaza Strip. It's a beautiful place. It's right on the ocean. If they just would give up the terrorism part of it, they could start to rebuild a place and have a prosperous country. Same thing with Venezuela as well. That was another spot where people went. Cuba, another one. You look at all the old movies, the 50s movies and 60s movies, everything was all about Cuba and going to Cuba. As I mentioned to you earlier, I was down in Key West, and Hemingway was always going to Cuba. And
Ernest Hemingway, Old Man on the Sea.
Yeah,
Old Man on the Sea. We've come full circle. Sunkissed. Chris Haig, Sunkissed in Florida. We've already made it all the way around. Okay, Chris. Something that we have to be very cognizant of is the last time that prior to this weekend, the last time we bombed Iran back last summer, do you know who wasn't dead at that time?
Well, there's a lot of people, but oh yeah, exactly.
Charlie Kirk was
Charlie Kirk, yeah.
And everybody's saying how Charlie felt about Iran. And let's play how Charlie felt.
And you might say, Charlie, do you support or oppose this? I support President Trump. That's my answer. I know the man. He's the commander in chief. He's the man for the hour, and he's had the weight of the world on his shoulders. So in a situation like this, I support my friend, and he's had my back and I have his. That's my perspective. By the way, I also look at this and I say, and I understand the arguments of people that, don't intervene and all that. I get it. But boy, have we not exhausted so many diplomatic channels and options. Here is Netanyahu, 261, praising and congratulating President Trump. Play cut 261.
So obviously we know where Charlie Kirk said he wasn't going to get into slicing, dicing. He said, this is my friend. I'm going to defer to him and see what he does, because up to that point, he was confident that Trump was going to make the right move. Just if you thought that was the only one we had, that Charlie was obviously making the circuit when it came when it came to Trump's the Situation Room and everything else. Charlie, I'm sure, had more intel than most of us, which is another rabbit hole I'd like to go down, because I don't understand why it is, with the future at stake with a young man such as Charlie Kirk, how we allowed him to be assassinated, because that's what happened. But here, he's on Jesse Waters' show, and here's what he had to say. Trump orders NSC to Situation Room.
President Trump understands his base extraordinarily well. He knows that his base does not want another Iraq. He does not want Libya, does not want a civil war or bedlam where the United States is left carrying the bag. But also President Trump has been morally clear for a decade. Iran should not have a nuclear weapon. And President Trump has the talent, the expertise to be able to thread that needle. The generation that I represent, Jesse, the under 30 crowd, they absolutely are very war weary. Many of them voted for President Trump on college campuses because they did not want to see a Joe Biden or George Bush philosophy where we get into this endless conflict where we're sending hundreds of billions of dollars. I think President Trump will be able to balance those two things while defending our allies, saying that Iran will not have a nuclear weapon without having to deploy a single American troop or even having America involved from the sky. President Trump can get that deal done while fulfilling the mandate that the voters gave him. President Trump.
So obviously, he didn't get it done, and he did have a team. And however, as Charlie said, I have confidence in who Trump is and what he has done. I think we have a very long track record of accomplishments, of winning, as Trump calls it, to this point. I'm willing to err on the side of President Donald J. Trump. I don't think that he just flippantly woke up one day, as the left says, as the crazies say, and started World War III. Nor did he start a war with Iran. Iran was told conditionally what needed to take place, and they chose to defy those negotiations.
Well, when you look at Trump, you see a person that's talked about these issues for over 50 years. So he's talked about Iran for over 50 years. He's talked about the unfairness of the trade deals that we get. He's talked about a lot of these issues for his entire life, and he's seen ways to start to make some progress on undoing some of the problems that we've just lived with for centuries. But I also have some sympathy for that argument where whenever we go to war, we always make the other guy the bad guy, right? Because you don't go to war with somebody you like.
Yeah.
So you always kind of pump that up, and you never know what's true and what's not. You also see that Israel has a vested interest over there because that's where they live, and Iran has always been a thorn in their side and threatened them with their.
Well, and right now they can do collateral. They can do a lot of damage to the country of Israel with the weapons that they currently have. They don't need to develop a nuclear missile or nuclear capabilities to do some extreme damage to the country of Israel.
Right. But then you also know that the U.S. is dependent a lot on its intelligence from the Israeli intelligence agencies. And while it's good to get that, you don't know whether that intelligence gets skewed to make the decision that Israel wants us to make. And so that makes it complicated. I don't know for sure which side that gets, that falls on, whether these are legitimate risks or not. So when we talked last summer, when we were talking about the capabilities and how close Iran was, you actually had Tulsi Gabbard come out with a slightly different take on what, that they are years away, not months away, and we had time. So there's a lot involved there, and I don't know what's right, and I don't know how good the intelligence is on either side of that argument. So the final thing I'll say is that air power by itself is very hard to win battles, and that's you're rarely able to just use air assets to make changes on the ground, because you have to get there. And the question is, how motivated are the Iranian people, and how splintered are they? Because there's other factions. There's people like the Kurds that have been kicked out, want to come back and run the country. And then you've got the kids of the Shah, and you've got all these other different political organizations. So it's hard to know whether that's going to come together in creating a country that can live more secularly and have a more freedom. So
none of that I really know, and I don't think anybody worth their salt can really say what is going to take place going forward. I think there are certain mechanisms in place to help expedite that. Obviously, interrupting the broadcast and kind of blacking out the TV in Iran, and then allowing Trump to speak to the people That was genius, obviously, technology. Yeah, brother Mark Rush Limbaugh said it best: if Trump is allowed to succeed, a outsider, nobody would ever vote establishment again. I agree with Rush full-heartedly. But Chris, that's part of that conversation. I really didn't go into the weeds too much. But I do know this from many people that I know in naval intelligence. So my family members who are
Mhm.
obviously involved, when you're sitting off the coast in a nuclear submarine, uh, you have the capabilities to hear and see and uh, what they call chatter, right? So
Mhm.
they are managing and listening in on conversations like our phone does for us. That's part of the program. We all realize it, that no matter what's happening right now, my phone's been sitting next to me over here. It's a listening device. Well, when you say, where does the intelligence come from? Well, it comes from a whole lot of places, but how do you know when you know that certain individuals are sitting in a specific place in a room and that's your target and they eliminate that target? And so I know that the expertise and the intel, I'm going to defer to that. Here, I think let's just let the president of the United States say it best. Here's President Donald J. Trump returning, I think, from Mar-a-Lago to the White House.
It's nice to have a president who knows which way to walk when they get off the helicopter.
Helicopter, yeah. Oh, I thought it. I thought there was more than just his walking. I thought it said. Hold on, let me see. This is from Bo London. He was reposted by my friend. Yeah, I call him my friend, Eric Doherty, and it said President Trump just gave ABC News a line of the century. I got him before he got me. They tried twice. Well, I got him first. No one has more aura than President Trump. Thank you, Chris, for pointing that out. He knows which way to get off, and he walks with confidence.
Yeah.
He's not walking in arrogance. He walks with confidence. He knows where he's going. He said, "God bless you, Mr. President." That was Bo London who had shared that. But basically, I got him before he got me. There's some that believe that it was twice that it was tried. There's William Jefferson Clinton just in parting. Let me jump off that screen. So we know that that Iran is definitely a complex situation. But as Marco Rubio said and Charlie Kirk said, I'm going to let the experts who have been tuned in, because all of us out here chattering, similar to what the Iranians are doing, Iranians, it's just chatter, right? And some of them aren't chattering anymore. Mainly, they're religious cleric in the Ayatollah. There's no chattering coming out of him anymore. He had an opportunity to spare his life. He chose not to. And it was very straightforward. That's part of engagement of a wartime president. And believe me, granted, Congress hasn't declared war against anybody, but we are at war. We're at war within our own country with people who would rather sit when they're asked definitively to stand if you support America over illegal immigrants. And people can't stand, obviously, taking a reference from last show. How hard is it to stand? That's where we're at. We're at the precipice. We are either going to go in the direction the next 3 years and we're off to the start of the second year of President Trump's 4-year term. We're going to follow Trump. I'm like Charlie. I still have a lot of questions too. I know that many of you do, but we're going to try to answer those in the days ahead. We do appreciate you once again. Thank you for joining us here today on the DPB show. We are going to be back Thursday. It's going to, oh, wait a second. Oh, I better catch myself. We're going to do everything we can to make sure we're back on Thursday. Yours truly has volunteered to take 2 shifts this week of grandpa duty. And so I do Wednesday, tomorrow, and Thursday. Pray for me. On Friday of last week, I came home after a full day with my granddaughter. My wife said it literally took no more than like 10 seconds of me hitting the bed. And the next thing she knows, I was sawing logs, which means I needed to drink some water because obviously it's dry in my house. But yeah, no, it's exhausting. So pray for me. I have 2 days with my granddaughter. I will pass up the DPB show anytime to do that because, as we all know, time is short. And those are the things that we should relish more than anything. So I'm going to try to make it back. I would turn Chris loose on you and let him do the show all by himself. And maybe I can do that. Maybe if I coach him up between now and then, he can go live with the DPB show and he could do a whole however minutes he wants to do. But stay tuned. I am going to try. I might be doing
I'm gonna do 2 hours. I'll do 2 hours.
Well, there you go. Well, so then you
We'll
know what?
expand the show 2 hours.
Well,
All those things that I don't say when you rein me in.
When Dave's talking, when the DPB's talking, Chris is going to just cover. I have a list over here of all the things I've wanted to say and was never able to say it because he won't give me an opportunity to speak long enough for me to get it all out. So here it goes: 2 hours with Chris Haig. That sounds like a new show. Go for it, is what Pam said. Go for it. 2 hours with Chris Haig. All right. As always, let's go ahead and wrap it up. And I'd like to pray for the safety and well-being of our nation, and pray for our troops in harm's way. Lord, we pray for peace. We really do. Obviously, this world that we live in is not a world that you intended it to be. And you told us that that's the way it would be. Unfortunately, people love a lot of things more than they love you. So we pray for that. We pray for the hearts and the of the families that are dealing with the loss of their soldiers or their sailors or their airmen. Lord, we ask you to protect everyone. We ask you to protect all people. Lord, help them make conscious decisions, common sense decisions about life rather than decisions about death. We know that all things are possible with you. We petition you now to guide us and lead us and to let us be a free people throughout this world. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right. A little overtime. Yes, Chris might go for it. I love you. Chris loves you, but Jesus loves you more. We'll see you back here maybe, or Chris will see you back here on Thursday. Same bat time, same bat channel. We look forward to seeing you then. Farewell.